tag team competition here. The Hate Junkies, Dany Only and Stryknyn taking on Tommy Daniels and CB Gibson. 7 days away from the Cage War Games going down at Fright Night 2011. Of course, the Hate Junkies, part of that team.
You know they're ready.
Oh, you know they're ready. They're part of that team with the Anarchy heavyweight champion Azrael. All three of them managed, of course, by the Reverend Dan Wilson to take on the Urban Assault Squad and the Korean Assassin Chemo. And coming up here later on tonight, even though we do see the Hate Junkies in the ring tonight, later on during that War Games advantage match, we have been informed that Nemesis, Chemo, and the Hate Junkies are all banned from ringside during that all-important War Games advantage match. War Games coming up at Fright Night, October 29th.
And you know they are banned indeed, but you know they certainly will be somewhere watching intently like we all will be watching to see what team is going to be able to get that advantage going into Fright Night as Azrael takes on Shadow Jackson. Main event, can't wait. We've been talking about it for several days now. Very excited. Got a great matchup here in the ring. Although I don't know if I would want to be Tommy Daniels or CB Gibson. And certainly as the Hate Junkies are preparing themselves for heading their way into the War Games matchup.
I don't even know anybody who would want to be CB Gibson or Tommy Daniels any day of the week, let alone a matchup with the Hate Junkies.
Well, you know Tommy Daniels comes from New York. I'm sure you would know a fitting city for someone in the likes of John the Body Johnson. The Hobnob in there with Tribeca. It doesn't work.
No, you know what? Let me tell you something. First of all, I love the city of New York. Tommy Daniels isn't really from New York. He's from Newark. He's from that sewage dump in New Jersey. Okay, he's not a real New Yorker. Look at that. Wow. Look at the Hate Junkies just stomping Gibson into the mat. Dany Only and Stryknyn, former Anarchy Tag Team champions in their own right. Of course, got involved in War Games just 2 weeks ago here on NWA Anarchy television. They were part of that big 6-man tag with Azrael taking on the Assault Squad and Chemo that ended in that huge locker room clearing brawl. Nobody, not even NWA owner Franklin Dove, able to gain order, but when Franklin Dove did get order established for a couple of moments, he did get out long enough to announce that War Games would be part of Fright Night. All of those things would be part of that huge historic match. Of course, if you know your wrestling history, you know back in 1987.
Great American Bash.
Great American Bash, just about an hour and a half from here down in Atlanta, Georgia at the Omni. It was the first time it took place, and the tradition, continues here in Georgia. Of course, War Games has been part of the NWA arena for over 10 years. Many great War Games matches have culminated in this building. I mean, you know, you talk about some of the historic names that have come through here, AJ Styles, Ron the Truth Killing, that were part of War Games at one time or another here at the NWA arena.
Absolutely. My first night here in the Anarchy arena was for seeing War Games, and I'll never forget that matchup. It's like they could have opened up a hospital here with all the blood that was shed, all the bodies that were laying all over the ground. An unbelievable matchup to see, I'm sure, on television, but in person was astounding for me, absolutely. And Dany Only dropping those elbows there, and that's one thing that a lot of people don't really always take into account. Look at that maneuver there from Dany Only. The Hate Junkies, certainly the name says it all. However, they can wrestle as well too. They're not just Neanderthals in there going loose and limbs.
And right now, Dany Only was using CB Gibson's own arm against him in that Indian Deathlock maneuver, trying to choke out CB Gibson with his own arm. And like I said, you know, the Hate Junkies are definitely getting ready for War Games. You know, of course, War Games, there is no pinfalls, there is no disqualifications. It's submit or surrender.
Is it just me, or does the beard seem to have gotten longer since we last saw him run? I'm not sure. I haven't been able to keep up with that, but perhaps maybe there. I guess that could also show you the intensity of the Hate Junkies. They don't even have time for grooming, but then again, I guess they probably don't really focus too highly on that with hygiene as it is.
Well, the Hate Junkies, they have been jet setting around the National Wrestling Alliance just a couple months ago. We're in a big NWA World Tag Team title match down in Florida with the current champions, Corey Davis and John Davis, course, you know, the Dark City Fight Club came out that match, still a champion. But the Hate Junkies definitely gained the respect of all the National Wrestling Alliance. And right there, you heard him calling out Shadow and Nemesis, the Urban Assault Squad. And, you know, that's another thing, too. That's another, you know, point of contention there. The Urban Assault Squad, many would consider one of the greatest tag teams to come through the NWA arena, well decorated. Everybody knows the story there, the history of the Urban Assault Squad. And the Hate Junkies know that even though they are former champions, that if they could get into the ring with the Urban Assault Squad, get a victory, that would cement them as one of the dangerous threats here in the National Wrestling Alliance and NWA Anarchy.
Absolutely, and that's why War Games is going to be such a volatile. All the stakes are going to be up on the line there at Fright Night. Can't wait for that. Dany only setting his man up. C.B. Gibson, he waited too long. C.B. Gibson able to get out of the way and make that tag to Tommy Daniels. Tommy Daniels didn't see Stryknyn making his way in. Stryknyn's not the legal man, but of course, why would that ever stop the Hate Junkies? Stryknyn making his way back outside. A good double team maneuver, I gotta say, by their part. And one thing.
Oh, wait a minute, hold up. Looks like they're getting ready to set him up already. This could be, oh, wait a minute, they were setting him up for the hate crime.
Absolutely, Tommy Daniels certainly able to take care of that momentum.
Look at that. Great teamwork right there.
Oh, and into 3.
Yeah, I got business to conduct.
Your winner by pinfall, the Hate Junkies.
Well, as my broadcast colleague, John the Body Johnson, makes his way out, don't forget we've got that matchup coming up next. Kobe Boykin, Brian Casanova. But more importantly, in the ring, the Hate Junkies standing tall. More importantly, in 7 days, will they be standing tall when all the blood and the war comes to a conclusion at Fright Night. Fans, don't go anywhere. We've got more